Okay, so in this screen, please don't worry about the name of this company, not required. Don't worry about what is the stain that is given here. Okay? This is not the stain we use. We use what? Leishman stain. Your focus should be on what the person is doing here. Okay? So the smear preparation, how they are doing, that is what is important. Okay? So shall we observe this? And how it is different from what we do, I'll tell you. Okay? Now let us look at this. Now here you see, she is taking, she or he, I don't know, is taking blood from a test tube. Okay? But we will not be doing that. We will have to prick and get our own blood. Ayo, sir, enna sir. You would like to know your own differential count, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
That's better. Okay. So what I want you to observe here is, look at the size of the blood drop. This is the first and foremost mistake students do. Please note where they are keeping the blood drop. Where is it? On a slide. So we use a slide to create a blood smear. We don't use a Newbar chamber. We don't use a Newbar chamber. Here we are using a blood slide. Glass slide. Blood on a glass slide. Please note the size of the drop. Mustn't be too much or too little. The common mistake students do is they put a lot of blood. There we will have pipettes, our amount will be guided, but here you just have to keep a drop. If you keep more blood, it will become too thick, the smear. Yes or no? If you put a lot of ice cream and do like this, you will get a thick smear, isn't it? So same way, if you put a lot of blood on the glass slide, you will get a thick smear, then that is of no use. You won't be able to count individual cells. So this is the first area where you must be very careful. Sir, empty sir, correct. That comes only by trial and error. Think then smear. And I have to do many times. No experiment you can master by doing once. Shall we continue? Yes. Now, look at what is happening. They are bringing another slide. Did you see that? And that slide is completely clear. There is nothing there on the slide. And look at the position they are keeping. Look at where they are keeping the slide. These are all mistakes where areas where we can go wrong. Look at where the blood drop is placed first of all. It is placed somewhere at the 3/4 of the slide. Can you see that? If you are a right-hander, place at the right, near the right hand. Can you see this? It's near the right hand. Can you see that? If you are a left-hander, place it on the left side. Okay? Now what he is doing is, look at this, he is going to place the slide after the blood drop. Can you see that? And then see what happens after that. What did you see? He pulled the slide back to the drop. Did you see that? That's what you must do. You must keep the slide a little away from the blood drop and pull it back to touch the drop of blood. And please see what happens when you touch the blood drop. What happens? Spreads. Did you see that? You all see that? It should spread like that evenly. Only then you will get a smear. And now let us see what happens now. Did you see that? Yes? What you saw now was the preparation of a smear. How do you spread? You spread lightly, you spread rapidly. What angle do you hold the spreader? You are holding a slide, no? On top of that. which was spreading the blood, that is called as a spreader. Very easy, the one that spreads the blood is spreader. What angle? We say 45 degrees. Ideal angle should be 45 degrees. Now this is an art. What you are doing here to create a smear is an art. What do you mean by art? It comes with practice. You have to do it again and again to get a good smear. This person seems to be well experienced. Look at the smear. How beautiful it is. What is beautiful here, sir? It doesn't look too red. When we make smear, no? When students make smear, this smear will look in this color. What does that mean? There's too much of blood. Can you see that? Or the smear will not be long enough. Kammiya blood it won't be long enough, isn't it? Kammiya blood odane katta. Won't get a long enough smear. You see the smear long enough? It should cover almost 3/4 of the slide. Good smear. Most important, it should be thin enough. Look at the color. Color is what tells you how thick or thin the smear is. Red color varakudadu, pinkish, light pinkish color, then you can understand. Many times students bring to me, slides and, sir, is my smear good, sir? What am I looking for, whether it is good? I will first look at what is the size. Then I will look at what is the color. So you will know. Ideally keep it on a white sheet. See where they are keeping white sheet. Can you see that? So that you will know what is the exact color. So many slides you see, then you will get an idea what is a good smear. Whatever you smear, you do, however good or bad, you proceed with the next step. Don't worry. Keep a mental picture and proceed. So that next time you will do. Because only after you do and finally you stain, you will know whether your smear was good or bad. Whether the cells could be countable or not. Ippave theriyadu. Last la dhaan theriyum. Puridappa? Okay. Shall we proceed? Do you want to see this once again? Yes. We'll see this once again. Draw it back 45 degrees, spread. In the kai eduthaanga pathingala adilirundhu, the left hand which is holding the slide is also important. Actually, what I advise is, I don't hold this left hand here. I take this left hand and put it underneath here. You know what is the problem with this left hand? In the slide, correct? Huh? So that you won't have a free movement. I advise put this left hand underneath and turn the slide this side. And you can take a stroke away from you. Purida? So that this hand won't come and disturb you. Anyway, we will show you all this in practical next class. But for now, understand what is happening here. Okay? But it is not wrong to do like that. You feel comfortable. So once again, to see the smear, notice the color. I am very impressed about the color of the smear. It shows it is pretty thin. And look at this area, how long it has come. Can you see that? And another point is, see, when you make a smear, always this area will be thicker. And as you progress away from the head, is the head, body and tail of the smear. Easy, no? Head, body and tail. So which region will be thinnest? The body and the tail areas will be thinner, and you should be actually counting in those areas rather than the head. Why? That area will be thick. Thicker than a prachana. One cell married, no cell married. Then you can't count. That is the problem. Okay, this is how you make the smear. So is it clear for all of you? Now we'll continue with this and complete what happens next. Are you all ready? There are some variations and I will tell you what these variations are. Now what is the next thing they are doing here in this slide is they are putting inside methanol. Methanol is what? Methyl alcohol. They are putting the slide directly into methyl alcohol, but in our experiment we will not put it in methyl alcohol. But what is the idea of putting it in, putting the slide in methanol? What is written there? It says fix. Can you see that? It says fix. Fix means what? Fix means what? Huh? Fix means to attach. Attach what with what? Smear with the slide. You are attaching what with what? Smear with the slide. Slide irukku. Slide ku mela there is blood. Correct? Which you have smeared. Why should we attach the blood to the slide? Abbe vittan no. Later on we will add many things. The smear will come off. Pitch it on them. Purida. It will detach from the slide. How to fix it with the slide? We have a beautiful compound, methyl alcohol, which will do that job for you. It will fix the smear with the slide. See, I said we won't be doing this step. What I mean is we won't be putting the slide in methyl alcohol. Our Leishman stain which we add, no? That itself contains methyl alcohol. That will do the job for us. But what is the point here is, you must understand, but we will have methyl alcohol in our procedure and that will do the job for us. What is the job? They will ask you in exam. What is the purpose of adding methyl alcohol? You should say it fixes the smear to the slide. Okay? Shall we move on? Yes. Before I proceed, I want to tell one more point. When we are doing, you make sure you make a smear and then dry it. Okay? Make a smear and dry it. How do you dry it? Put on the fan, leave it for some time, it will get dry. Okay? And then you add Leishman stain on top of it. That's what we will do. What is this Leishman stain? What does it contain? What is the job? I'll tell you. Add the Leishman stain on top of it. And that Leishman stain will contain methyl alcohol and that will do the fixing job. We leave it like that for 2 minutes. How long? 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, depending on the situation. We usually prefer here 2 minutes. Okay? So after 2 minutes, what will we do? We will add distilled water. Now here, in this picture, they are using another stain. What stain they are showing? Right stain. We don't use right stain, okay? Don't say in exam right stain, Jeemster stain. They are putting some stain. Can you see that? What color is that? Bluish, dark blue color. This is exactly the color your Leishman stain will also be. If I didn't tell this is right stain, nobody will know what stain this is, okay? So I am telling you, here we are adding Leishman stain. This is how you will add Leishman stain. You just add Leishman stain on top of it. How many drops? Just to cover your smear. Just cover it. 5, 6, 7 drops depending on. Just cover it. கீழே பிராக்டிகலுக்கு வந்தவங்கலாம் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க எக்ஸாம் அன்னைக்கு ஒரு பாட்டில் இருந்தது இந்த டார்க் கலரில் பார்த்தீங்களா பார்க்கலன்னா நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் பாருங்க ஓகே ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் ஹவ் யுவர் ஸ்லைட் வில் பி மவுண்டட் அண்ட் திஸ் இஸ் ஹவ் த ஸ்டெயின் வில் பி கவரிங் தி ஸ்லைட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 2 minutes we don't add anything just the Leishman stain and leave it like that. What is happening now? Fixing of the smear to the slide. என்ன பண்றாங்க பாத்தீங்களா tilt பண்ணி make sure the stain covers the entire smear. So what we will do is, don't worry about the time that is given here. This is not what we follow in our lab. Okay, after 2 minutes we will add distilled water. We also have distilled water in our lab. We will add that distilled water. How much distilled water we add? We add almost double the amount of how much stain we added. Again, make sure that the entire slide is covered. Just have a look how this distilled water is being added. We don't use pipettes like this in our lab. We will be having distilled water which we can directly add from the bottle, drop by drop. Once again, you see here. So again, I will repeat. First, you made the smear. Then you added what? Then you dried. Then you added what? Leishman stain. And you leave it for 2 minutes. Why? For fixing. Then you add distilled water. And leave it for 8 minutes, we say. Sometimes 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes. So you have to prepare 3 slides. One for 7 minutes, one for 8 minutes, one for 9 minutes. Because different slides will look differently under different staining situations. And we'll see which one comes out nicely. Now, examiner will ask you what is happening during this period when you are adding distilled water. What do you want to happen? We are adding stain for what? We want to stain, no? Isn't it? We want to add stain. Now, you all did WBC count, you know, the total WBC count. Were you able to see the individual WBCs as neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils? Were you able to see? Yes or no? You didn't see them. We can't differentiate them. Chuma pada theriyadhu edu neutrophil solli. Appo eppadi kandupidikiradhu? We have to put stain. Stain போட்டு we have to differentiate. So the purpose of adding stain, one, is it contains fixative. Number two, it contains stain to color the different types of cells so that we can identify this cell as this particular cell. Purida? Okay. So we add stain, we put distilled water and leave it for 7, 8 and 9 minutes. Make 3 slides. At the end of 8 minutes, pick up the slide. Here what they are showing is they are putting it under tap water. Theriyudha? இந்த tap water நல்ல ஸ்பீடாவே வருது தண்ணி. பாத்தீங்களா? நீங்க இந்த மாதிரி நம்ம டேப்பை திறந்து வச்சீங்கன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? இவ்வளவு நேரம் நீங்க பண்ணதெல்லாம் பிச்சிட்டு போயிடும். புரியுதா? So we suggest in our lab, do not keep the tap completely open. Tap லைட்டா திறந்து வச்சா ஒரு மெல்லிசா வரும் தெரியுமா? தண்ணி பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா? அந்த அளவு ஜென்டிலா வரணும். டிராப் கூட நேரா ஸ்லைட்ல விழுந்தா I have seen அந்த fixation சரியில்லைன்னா அப்படியே பிச்சிட்டு போயிடும். இவ்வளவு நேரம் பண்ணது வேஸ்டா போயிடும். புரியுதா? So be very careful. You can use tap water, you can even use distilled water but do it very gently. We'll show you how to do it in the next class. Practical demonstration. Okay? So this is how your slide will look when it is completely washed. Okay? Did you see that? Pathingala? Now what do you see? You see the smear fixed to the slide, and cells would have got stained by now. We don't have such apparatus where we keep it under water for cleaning. We won't be doing that. So don't take this as something which you will be doing. The whole idea is what? Remove the stain from the slide. Only the stain, not the smear. தெரிஞ்சுதா? இதெல்லாம் நீங்க பண்ண மாட்டீங்கப்பா. Just slide எடுத்து keep it for dry. Again you see another stain written here. What is it? James stain. Don't worry about this. Again we won't be doing this. Not required for you. This you can just have a look to see how the stain is added. Avladha. This is how you will add Leishman stain. But don't think again we will add Leishman stain. No, we won't add. We just add once. Keep it for 2 minutes. Add distilled water. Keep it for 8 minutes and then rinse. Very gently, that is very important. இப்படிலாம் பண்ணீங்கன்னா போச்சு. ஆட்னீங்கன்னா முடிஞ்சது. Okay? So again under flowing water. இதான் உங்க bookல கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. But be very careful. At the end, your slide should look like this. Do you see that? Now we won't be doing this acetic acid solution washing and all, we won't do, don't worry about that. But this is the idea, this is how your slide should be at the end. But again, please note, சிலருக்கு பிஞ்சு போகும் கட்டாயம் நீங்க பண்ணும்போது ஸ்மியர் பிச்சு பிறகு கவனி கட்டாயம் பிச்சு போகும் சார் பிஞ்சிருச்சு சார் எல்லாமே நான் ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது ஒட்ட வைக்க முடியாது. What you should do is clean completely and then do it. இப்போவே கஷ்டமா இருக்குல்ல பண்ணும்போது இன்னும் கஷ்டமா இருக்கும். So do it with a lot of care. If you do the steps rightly, it will be fine. And after putting it under water and rinsing it, what do? Dry it, air dry it. Put it under the fan and the slide should be completely dry. Okay? And then this, now you have smeared it, you have stained it, and now we put something on top of it. What it is, I will tell you in the coming slides. Okay? Before we go, now the slide is ready for mounting on a microscope. Now we have completed 2 steps, now we'll start counting. Did you all understand whatever I told you till now? Yes or no? Okay? So we will stop this here and we will go back